His fight was over. He'd served the U.S. government as a soldier, the Enclave as a cold-blooded killer, and various governments since as an involuntary asset. He'd killed criminals, drug runners, corrupt generals, and world leaders, but also more than his share of innocents, a fact he would carry with him to the grave. He could only hope that when the tally of his life was finalized, the good he'd done in recent years outweighed the bad. He and Kearns had agreed that they would stay in the forest, making the best life they could in the shack for as long as they needed to. In time, they might be able to come out of hiding, to stake out a normal life somewhere Kearns could work, once again using her exceptional scientific talents to benefit humanity. As for him, he could live without having to look over his shoulder every waking moment, but that prospect was a long way off from being reality. For now, there were too many individuals and governments who considered him public enemy number one. People who'd use his newfound love for Kearns to get to him. After the final battle with Shade, Herron and Kearns had sought medical help in Baltimore, using a backroom doctor who owed Herron a favor and could be trusted. He'd patched up both their wounds, making sure to let them know how lucky Kearns was to still be alive. Had Shade's gunshot taken her another inch to the left, she'd have been in real trouble. As it was, she'd have a scar and a memory. Then, at last, they'd headed for their forest hideaway to begin the long process of healing and connecting. With a sigh, Herron tried to put such thoughts of the past aside, even for a few hours. Now he had a more pressing challenge, catching some fish. Canned foods made up most of their shack's stores, and while they'd planted some seeds, it would take time for the vegetables to grow. In the meantime, Herron was forced to hunt and fish for most of what they needed. He looked around the span of the lake and listened, trying to sense any threat or disturbance. Satisfied there was none, he rested the rifle against a tree near the water, then shrugged his backpack off his shoulders. Working efficiently, he removed his fishing supplies and bait from inside the bag and prepared his rod. Then, ready to begin, he cast a line out into the water and sat in the dirt to wait. Time passed, the lake in no hurry to provide him the protein he sought. Herron wasn't sure if it was a commentary on his skills as an angler or the abundance of the fish beneath the surface, but the dozen or so times he'd come here, he'd never returned empty-handed. Anyway, it wasn't like he had anywhere else to be. Kearns was resting, still recovering from her wound, and all his other chores for the day were done. While he waited for the nibble of a fish and the battle for his dinner to start, he made sure to enjoy the serenity. For weeks, he hadn't seen another person except Kearns, hadn't heard any other sign of humanity. It was like they were the last survivors on Earth, a scenario they joked about the previous night, huddled next to the fire. The thought was still fresh in his mind when the whir of a helicopter in the distance broke the silence. It was approaching fast, and Herron's mind worked to determine whether the chopper was slowing or just passing over the forest. It was slowing. Dropping the fishing rod, Herron got to his feet and grabbed the rifle. Confident he wouldn't have to do any shooting, but prepared to unleash hell if he needed to, he chambered around. As a further precaution, he retreated into the tree line and had only just made it when the chopper came into view. Small and black, it lacked any sort of markings, a combo of traits that usually spelled trouble. But it was hovering over the lake now, the downdraft from the rotors sending waves out across the previously serene surface, and it clearly wasn't leaving. Herron weighed up the danger to himself and Kearns. They were isolated, off-grid, and had told nobody where they were going. Anyone coming at them with so much heavy metal likely had hostile intentions. He fired. The round pinged harmlessly off the helicopter's landing strut, exactly as Herron had intended. He didn't want to kill anyone or bring the bird down, for now.